He looked at the notes briefly and then dropped it back on the trolley. "Who was that?" Ophelia asked. "Unimportant people trying to feel relevant?" he answered. He picked up his wine and sipped it. He did it in the most sensual way, such that she was looking at him. He knew exactly how to get her attention and distract her. He was a professional at it. It was not until he had distracted her that she would realize that she was distracted. Most of the time, she did not even remember what it was she was trying to say. "So, I was asking you, how long have you been at that company?" "I've been in the company for 6 years. I just said that just now." "I can't believe you didn't hear that," Ophelia said. "What? You know the problem within the place you work. You tackle that and then it will send you on your way to other parts," Alexander said. "There are some directors still in this company that wanted to go out with me, and because I refused them, they stopped my promotion when I was still in the administrative assistant role." "Really? Give me their names," Alexander said with a snarl. "Alexander, what do you intend to do?" she asked cautiously. "I'll just go ahead and shake their hands and tell them that, well, she didn't accept you, she accepted me," he said with a smile, a very evil smile. "Alexander, I don't trust you. I know you would do way worse than that. So please don't do that to them. Please don't send them away," Ophelia begged. "No, I'm not sending them away. Why would you think that? I just want their own promotions to be stopped as well," he responded, cleaning his mouth with his napkin. "Don't concern yourself with any of this, just sit down and look pretty. I'll handle everything that concerns you," Alexander said, reassuring her. "So, sweetheart, I'll be going to the office," Alexander informed her. "Alex, when will I know your office?" she asked curiously. "Okay, if that's so. If you really want to know, then we can go to my office, and then afterward my driver will drop you at your office," Alexander said. "Okay," Ophelia agreed. When they were done at the restaurant, they went to where the car was parked and got in. "Office," Alexander ordered the driver. "Yes, sir." In no time, they arrived at Alexander's office. Written at the top of the building was the Pristine Group. They took the secret elevator and went up to his office. When they got there, it was exactly like Ophelia's office. Alexander Prescott's office was impressive. It was big and well organized. In the center, there was a large, sleek desk made of dark wood. His chair was tall and leather, looking very comfortable. Opposite the desk, there were 2 stylish chairs for visitors. Behind the desk, a tall bookshelf reached up to the ceiling. It was filled with books and a few trophies. On the other side of the room, there was a modern glass table with a few more chairs around it, perfect for small meetings. One wall had a huge window, letting in lots of natural light. The view was fantastic, showing off the city skyline. The floor was covered in a thick, dark blue carpet which felt soft underfoot. The walls were painted a light gray, giving the room a calm and professional atmosphere. In one corner, there was a tall green plant, adding a touch of nature to the space. There were also a few pieces of modern art on the walls, making the office look stylish and sophisticated. "I see that it's because you're my husband now. You have a large office, and you need me to have a large office as well. What are we both doing in a large office?" Ophelia pointed out. "You know I don't want you to be cluttered in your mind, and I don't want you to feel as if the walls are shrinking on you, especially when you are working. That won't be a very good feeling at all," Alexander answered her question. "Okay, now that I know your office, let me go back to mine," she said, getting up from the chair that she had previously perched on. "Alexander, I think I forgot something. I was supposed to get some food for my staff, and I forgot it. I need to get it." "In that case, why don't you sit down? They'll bring it here, and then you can take it," Alexander said, and he did exactly as he told her. All the food that her staff could eat and more was packaged and brought to his office for Ophelia to take back to her own office. By the time she arrived at the office, she asked Alice to come in to distribute the food items to the rest of the team. When she had shared everything, she went back to her madam's office. "Please, madam, you are not eating?" Alice asked with concern. "No, Alice, I ate before I came here. I had my own lunch, remember? I told you. You go ahead and enjoy yourselves." After a while, there was a knock on Ophelia's door. "Yes, come in," she said, inviting the person in. The door opened to reveal her receptionist, Alice, again. "Yes, Alice?" Ophelia questioned. "Mr. Harrison is here to see you, madam," Alice said. "Let him in," Ophelia said with a smile. She then rolled on her chair. "Let this show begin," Ophelia said to herself. In a few moments, Mr. Harrison stepped in. "What? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing at the CEO's desk?" Harrison asked with disdain in his voice as usual. "Oh, Mr. Harrison, is that why you are here? Don't you have any job to do?" Ophelia asked. "Ophelia, or whatever you are, I don't know if you have been sleeping with the higher-ups, and I don't care. What are you doing sitting down behind that desk?" "That is the CEO's desk," he said, appalled. "And I am the CEO. Get it? If you raise your voice one more time, I'll give you the boot," Ophelia said with so much courage that Mr. Harrison had never seen before. "Who do you think you are, Ophelia? Do you know who you are talking to? This is your boss, your director," Harrison declared angrily. "You are my staff. You are my subordinate. If you stand there one more second, you will see what I can do," Ophelia said. Mr. Harrison went around the table to Ophelia's side, trying to yank at her and move her off the chair. "Let me go!" Ophelia screamed. "You have no business here, you lazy good-for-nothing girl. Get off the seat of the CEO," Mr. Harrison said angrily. Suddenly the door burst open, and there were 3 able-bodied-looking men who came in. "Can you let her go, Mr. Please, what's your name?" one of the men said. Harrison looked at the girl that he held by the shoulder tightly and looked at the 3 men. "Who are you?" he asked. "We are officers of this company, and you are harassing her," another of the men said. "Get off me, you evil man," Ophelia said to Mr. Harrison, slipping in her own insult. "I'm going to get you fired right away," Harrison promised. "See that you do," she shouted after him. Once he left, everywhere became calm. "We are sorry, madam, that we are just arriving from Mr. Prescott's place. We are your bodyguards," another one introduced them. "Oh, thank God, and right on time, too. How do you want to do it? Where are you going to sit?" she asked them politely. "No, don't worry, madam. Be sure that we got your back," one said. "Thank you, and please, what are your names?" Ophelia asked them, looking at each of their faces. "Oh, mine is Ben. He's Bank, and the one at the other end is Bully." Ben introduced them to Ophelia. Ophelia called each name, and when she got to Bully's name, she smiled, and the 3 men smiled as well. "Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I'll still be here, and my husband will come and pick me up," Ophelia informed them. "Yes, madam, we know. The moment you come to work, we'll be here to follow you up and here until you leave back home. It's only your husband that will come here freely. No one else is permitted to come and take you from this office." "Thank you," Ophelia said, and they bowed and left the office, closing the door behind them. Ophelia exhaled loudly in relief. "Oh, this, my husband." Her love for him grew a notch. She got more reasons not to fall for him. "My husband isn't a seducer. He is a protector. The way he protects me, he's also a provider. The way he gives me everything," she thought to herself as she sat back in her seat, just thinking about Alexander Prescott, and had a smile on her face. She went back to her game on her phone and continued to play. The next knock she heard, she wasn't sure who it was. "Alice, is that you?" she said. "Yes, madam." Alice quickly opened the door and came in. "What is it this time?" Ophelia asked. "Madam, they brought a letter from personnel. It's a sack letter," Alice said with a little laugh in her voice. "Bring it to me. Let me see," Ophelia said, wondering how stupid people can be. Alice handed the letter to her and she opened it. "People know how to knock the nail in their own coffins," she thought to herself as she read the big bold letters at the top. Letter of dismissal. She chuckled a bit. "Since this is how he wants to play it, then let's play," she said. "Alice, can you get me the head of personnel?" she ordered. "Yes, ma'am," Alice said, and quickly scurried out to do her madame's bidding. In an instant, she was back with the head of personnel. The head of personnel saw her and was surprised as he came into the office, but he was smart enough not to be a loose-mouthed person. "Good afternoon, ma'am," he said. Yes, you are the head of personnel. Can you introduce yourself? She asked, looking at him. My name is Jack Spell, he responded. Head of personnel Jack Spell, I am Ophelia Prescott. I'm the new CEO. I just took over from Mr. Baldwin, who just left, she informed. Oh, you're welcome, madam. I didn't know when Mr. Harrison came to ask for a sack letter for Ophelia Bennett. I didn't know it was you, he explained in a shaky voice. Don't worry. I really do understand. Tomorrow I'll be meeting with all the heads of departments, and we will have time to talk and introduce each other, okay? This is not your problem at all. I want you to issue a sack letter to Mr. Harrison, Ophelia said. But madam, he's a director. And I am the CEO. Oh, you want to go with him? Do you want to be sacked along with him? Ophelia asked. No, madam. Good. Then send him a sack letter, and I want to sign the sack letter. I want you to be the one to deliver it to him by hand. Go on, Ophelia said, showing the man out of her office. The man quickly turned and hurried out like a rat. Alice, who had been there all along, looked at her madame and smiled. Alice, we're doing good, right? Ophelia said. Alice nodded rapidly. Okay, go back to your office. Alice got up quickly and left. Ophelia, in turn, went back to her Candy Crush. This office is getting too drab. There should be TV, she said to herself. So she stepped out of her office and saw one of the guards. As she approached the guard, she wasn't sure which one he was. Then she decided to go to Alice's office. Alice, come with me. There should be a TV in this place, she said. Yes, madam, Alice responded. So where is the TV? She asked. I don't know, madam, but the former CEO hardly watches any TV. That is the reason. By tomorrow, a TV will be placed here. I need to know what is going on outside of these walls. I cannot just be cooped up in this place like a hen, Ophelia commented. Yes, madam, that is true, Alice responded. After a while, Ophelia was in her office when she heard a ruckus.